let's see this. After pricing Dragon's Dogma 2 $70, which is not unexpected for a AAA game from a big developer like Capcom, right? Capcom is now considering a video game price review. This is not unexpected either. Like I said, I mean, one of we talked about this towards the end of last year, which is Capcom's president was talking about how they are not satisfied with a $70 price tag on their games. That's the link for the vid right there, the VOD on YouTube that we covered. It's kind of a disgusting look. This was on the heels of them releasing Exoprimal, which honestly, the way that game was developed, the content it had, and how riddled it was with monetization, should have been a free-to-play game, in my opinion. It shouldn't have been a AAA price tag game. Should have been free-to-play. I played it on subscription service, so at least that was an option for people, but it wasn't very good. It was very repetitive. It was a game that they did enough to be able to put a ton of monetization in it, you know. Quality, I like it, dude. So that felt really bad, and on the heels of that, they came out with this quote and statement about the president saying they needed to raise prices above $70. It's a daunting look at not just Capcom, but what a lot of these bigger companies feel like they need to do in the gaming industry to us as consumers. When you know, we talk about a lot, are we getting what we're paying for? I think I'm going to get what I'm paying for in Dragon's Dogma 2 because I'm going to be pre-ordering this. I trust Capcom as a developer. I've said for a while now that I think Capcom is one of the better AAA developers as far as content goes and performance goes, releasing games in a finished state, pretty polished state. I loved Dragon's Dogma 1. I put 130 hours into that game. I think I'll probably get more time out of Dragon's Dogma 2 probably. As I'm expecting it to be probably a little bit deeper of a game. So I think that a AAA price tag for Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be, in my opinion, money well spent for entertainment. But, you know, when you talk about all the way around, what are we getting our money's worth out of AAA games? And right now, you know, over the past year, the gaming industry AAA price tags went up to $70, and we have these games releasing constantly where the main story content's only 15 hours long. Is that worth it? You can kind of usually wring out about an extra 10, maybe 15 hours out of side content. Is that worth it? I think it depends. Everybody's gonna have a different stance on that. But now they're wanting to raise prices even more. Do you think they're going to be bringing you more content? No. They're not going to be bringing you more content. On average, the prices are going to go up and the games are going to stay the same. Quality could even potentially decrease, right? So prices are going to go up. Quality will, at the very least, stay the same. And what the amount of entertainment you're getting out of these games is going to probably stay baseline the same as well. So you know, why should we be paying more? I don't get it. It doesn't compute, man. Right? So I think this is where people have to really take a hard look at what I promote all the time. As you know, what I was talking about just a little bit ago, while I'm not really excited about how Capcom's president has addressed what they're doing, I didn't like what they did with Exoprimal, but I do think they're a better AAA developer in the industry right now as far as content. I trust them for what they're bringing to the table with Dragon's Dogma 2, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So I trust purchasing this game on release or pre-order, you know. But you've got to be hyper aware of who developers are bringing titles to the plate for you. Like I was just talking about with Respawn, they're making a Mandalorian game. Nobody should be buying that on release or pre-order. Nobody should be buying the next Jedi game on release or pre-order. They've baited people twice in a row now on their Jedi games. There were a hot bag of garbage on release. Nobody should be buying their games on release. You kidding me? This is, I mean, you know, I promote this all the time. You've got to understand. Are you getting what you're paying for? Do you pay attention to these developers and publishers and what they're bringing to the table for you? Everybody's got to be aware of what you're supporting here and getting yourselves into in this realm of entertainment and this industry that we love, because we only have ourselves to blame for this this bed we're making for ourselves, man. Right? I mean, dude, we're already laying in it. Yeah. And now they want to raise prices again. But for what? I mean, we're not getting anything more out of it as consumers, right? So you've got to be pretty deliberate and critical about the way that I think, you know, you're spending your money and the companies that you're supporting in this fashion about the ever increasing prices of entertainment in the video gaming industry and what you're getting out of it. Yeah. We only have ourselves to blame, and we can only protect ourselves as well from, you know, exacerbating these issues we've gotten ourselves into in the industry, man. So, Dragon's Dogma 2 is the first Capcom game priced at $70, but it sounds like there's more to come. In a financial results conference call Q&A summary, Capcom responded to a question about the company's video price policy that also pointed out $69.99 had become the norm for AAA video games across the industry. Dragon's Dogma 2, which is scheduled for release this fiscal year, will be priced at $70. Capcom replied, industry-wide development costs are rising. We are considering a price review as one option. Ultimately, we intend to take a thoughtful approach in pricing our games while ascertaining user feedback. That very much suggests $70 will become the standard for Capcom video games, as it has become the standard for so many other AAA video game publishers. Seems reasonable to expect Monster Hunter Wilds, due out at some point next year, will also cost $70 or perhaps even more, especially considering that VOD link I posted in chat just a little bit ago about their president saying they want to raise prices even more. News of a potential price review comes as a little surprise given comments made last year by Capcom president Haruhiro Sugimoto. Speaking of the Tokyo Game Show, he said he thought the price of video games were too low. That's exactly that link. Exactly that link. And that increasing the price of video games would be a healthy option for the industry. This is a business person. Again, I think that at $70 for what I'm expecting to get out of Dragon's Dogma 2, for the amount of time and entertainment I'm expecting to get out of this product, I feel confident about this. But these are you know, I can't advocate enough for people to take the time to look at these games that are coming out and go, how much am I paying for this? Can I reliably expect this game to perform well based on the recent historical, you know, showings of what this company has brought to the table on releases, you know, over the past 5 to 10 years, as well as, you know, do I know how much entertainment I'm going to be getting out of this game? And is a AAA price tag, or how much I'm willing to spend on this game, is that worth it? There are definitely some different criteria here that I think everybody as a consumer in this industry has to start taking a really, really hard look at in determining what products we support, what companies we're supporting, and it can be a huge catalyst for changing the way the industry approaches us as consumers and gaming enthusiasts. But it has to start with us. Nobody else protects us in this way. It comes down to us doing it. We have to be the catalyst for it. The development costs are about 100 times higher than during the Famicom era, but software prices have not gone up that much. Sugimoto said, now, there have been many studies done about inflation, the price of games back then versus the price of games now, and you know what all this means and everything. And on the whole, games are actually much more expensive now than they ever were in the past, especially when you take into consideration the initial price tag, the amount of monetization that goes on inside of them, things of that nature. There's also a need to raise wages. Here's the problem. How many of these companies do you actually think are raising the prices of their games and then also giving their employees due compensation? Because I'll tell you something, the more I see prices being raised in the world, the less I see employees being compensated for the products they're making for these companies. I see more employees being released and more employees being made to do more of the work, right? With less help, or they'll make more jobs that are part-time jobs rather than full-time jobs and cut benefits or whatever. So how many of these companies can confirm that the reason they're raising prices is to pay their employees more? The actual employees that are created. Now, I'm not talking about CEOs. I'm not talking about the increasing the flipping fat pockets of the board members and stuff. I'm talking about taking care of your employees, the employees that are actually doing the work here. I feel like it's probably very little, because I mean most of them are getting fired, it seems like nowadays, right? So if you can confirm to me that the reason you're actually raising prices in this industry is to ensure that there are going to continue to be jobs, low entry to mid-level jobs in this industry, so that we can continue to evolve and do better and take care of the employees that actually are doing the work here instead of firing all of them, I'll be more accepting of it. But we know that's not the case, right? Whenever prices went up over the past year of AAA retail. Prices went up. And what did we see happen? Companies getting slaughtered. Just eliminating mass amounts of employees. So what makes me think that them raising the price anymore is going to do anything to help the job market in this industry moving forward? The only reason they want to raise the price, as far as I can tell, is to continue to pay their executives, their board members, their CEOs, their COOs, all those people more money. That's it. No, video did not freeze. Considering the fact that wages are rising in the industry as a whole, I think raising unit prices is a healthy option for business, says Capcom's president, who I'm sure would stand to gain quite a bit more money off of this. Barrett, maybe refresh, dude. Sujimoto went on to argue that an economic slump wouldn't prevent people from purchasing pricier games. Just because there's a recession doesn't mean you won't go to the movie theater or go to your favorite artist's concert. High quality games will continue to sell. That's the problem, though. They need to be high quality. All the way around. Rising development costs and increasing development schedules are two of the hottest topics within the video game industry right now. As huge layoffs devastate developers, AAA businesses are seen as under threat with fears of a market crash. This week, Sony boss Hiroki Tataki suggested PlayStation Studios can do more to cut development costs. In its remarks, Capcom echoed those comments, saying, "We see the streamlining of development and enhancement of productivity as priority issues and are continuing to address these on an ongoing basis." Dragon's Dogma will sell a lot of copies. Yeah. I mean, dude, it doesn't compute, man. It doesn't make sense. It's a rough look. You want to, you know, how do we trust any of these flipping people up here at the top of these companies making, you know, most of them 7 figures, big 7 figures, when they're just slaughtering their employee base, you know, and it most of it looks like it's actually because of bad business decisions. But the people that make bad business decisions don't suffer consequences. The low people on the totem pole in the company are the ones that get eliminated. You know, it doesn't make sense. If you know, we can have some kind of confirmation and guarantees that the reason prices are going up is so that we can continue to support the workforce in this industry and make sure that these companies aren't just utilizing AI to replace, you know, replace the employees and things of that nature. You look, man, cool. And make sure that we're getting good, finished, polished, optimized content brought to the table for us. Cool. We know that's not the case, right? We've been getting baited by this kind of crap forever. So these CEOs and these presidents and, you know, all these people can sit up here and talk about how they need to raise the prices and it's for the employees or whatever. You know, they can say it all they want, but we've seen it not be the case for too long to eat that as fact. It's not the case, man.